In 2014, another one of my all-time favorite shows premiered. Wander Over Yonder on the Disney Channel by acclaimed Maximum Ultimate Genius, Craig McCracken, creator of Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Also, he worked on Dexter's Lab before that. Hey, I made a video about that show, you should check it out. The show centers around the universe's awesomest evildoer, Lord Hater, aka the greatest in the galaxy. The baleful would-be conqueror of space and his sidekick, Commander Peepers, go about the life of a galactic ruler and all that entails. Taking over planets, picking up chicks, expanding your branch, you know, typical galactic overlord stuff. To put a stop to their cool and awesome machinations, the antagonist, this strange Muppet guy with a banjo called Sunshine Banjo Face, and his fat horse, team up to ruin all of the fun and spread lame crap like hugging and... Alright, god damn it. That's not true. Okay, let me start from the top here. One of the most pedantic hills I'm willing to die on is the idea that every single show with a strict hero-villain dynamic is only as good as the villains are, and not in a, whoa, the Joker secretly has a point, or some such way. Deliciously evil villains are a treat, but those special villains, the ones that worm their way into your heart and make you relate to, laugh with, and feel bad for them, are like a luxurious feast. They are the filet mignon to the edgelord Joker villains, double quarter pounder with cheese. That's okay though, because sometimes I do want a double quarter pounder with cheese. I briefly touched on this in my OKKO video, but Lord Boxman and his family of dumb assholes is absolutely the special kind of villain. In fact, it's such a brilliant example with the Boxmore family that not only Boxman, but every single one of his children fit into this criteria. Though obviously, there's a lot more examples I can come up with right off the dome. The Monarch and his henchmen, oh yeah baby. Zuko and Iroh from Avatar, that's the good stuff. Peridot from Steven Universe, what a mensch. Even someone like Skeletor is like this, regardless of if it was completely by accident. A show that aims for this delicate balance is always stronger for it, at least in my eyes. I truly believe that villains can still be threatening or even downright reprehensible, but you can still be engaged with their inner lives and grow to love them in some weird way, like some kind of strange, horrible uncle. Like this guy from this show you should watch. This can go lopsided, however. You can have something like Beast Wars, where you grow to love the villains, as per my previous statements. Then, Beast Machines happens. And yes, Beast Machines qualifies as some sort of natural disaster or national tragedy that happens to you. That is to say, the show I believe exemplifies this, embodies it, so purely and brightly, is the aforementioned Wander Over Yonder. Full disclosure and full unrepentant bias, Wander Over Yonder is like a top 5 cartoon ever for me personally. Now if you don't believe me or you think, wow Wyatt, that's bizarrely specific, then you haven't seen nothing yet, because I'm about to explain in excruciating detail why this is via one beautiful bony boy. So, back to where I started. Ahem. Wander Over Yonder stars the titular Wander as he himself's over to the ephemeral Yonder to aid him in his lonely and apparently centuries-long mission of spreading Jim Henson-y, Fraggle Rockian peace across the galaxy is Sylvia, a rough-and-tumble Zabornak, which is cartoon for alien horse thing. Though not the only threat to galactic peace, the most recurring and prevalent to them are Lord Hater and his army of watchdogs led by Commander Peepers, voiced by the immortal and omnipotent Tom Kenny. Do not get me wrong, I still love Wander and Sylvia, and if we're being honest here, they are the emotional core of the show. However, Hater and Peepers made something click in my brain. I was convinced to start loving these stupidly pathetic and completely ineffectual loser villains and consider them the real stars of any given show that they were in. So enough belaboring the point. What is it that makes Hater so special? Oh good lord, where do I begin? I think for once, I'll guide you through the series in roughly chronological order here. to get the real sense of my affection touching across time. Hader appears first in the first episode, The Greatest. He's there from the beginning, though in his first appearance, he's more of a typical beleaguered, egotistical supervillain, similar to that of Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls. Still funny, but you can basically trade him out for any other villain Wander will and has annoyed into submission, and nothing would be lost. Now the second appearance, The Picnic, is where things get interesting. This time, Hader is the actual focal point / protagonist of this episode, facing off against Emperor Awesome, another villain vying for the supposed ultimate power set to be unleashed shortly on this planetoid. Of course, Wander shows up in short order and begins his ruthless onslaught of frustration, and BAM! Instantly you get it. Their relationship, and our view of Hader, is not that of just some random bad guy. Emperor Awesome is some random bad guy. But Wander doesn't give a shit about him. We're focused on Hader, fleshing him out through the method of what makes him crack under pressure, making sure we as a viewer understand what makes him tick, why exactly he hates Wander, and even just a little bit about why he's a villain in the first place. Throughout the first season, many of the episodes involving him follow suit, most of the time still following this format of Hader and Wander cross paths, Hader goes rah rah I'm gonna kill you, hilarity ensues. At some point, though, we begin to see the writers taking this concept higher and higher. The episode The Brainstorm is an entire episode about the average evil planning session on Hader's ship, but the entire time, Hader just negs peepers just because he knows what always happens to them.
Banjo.
This even leads to another episode about him spiraling into depression about his lot in life, being unable to even conquer planets that don't have Wander protecting them. Also, it ends with Hader and Peepers tripping balls, so there's that. This is in the first season. Normally, this kind of high-concept story would be better suited for later in the show's run, but it clues the viewer into exactly where the writer's priorities are. That this show is moving at such a clip for a good reason. Going into the second season, they had an aha moment. One so subtle, you might have to make an entire YouTube video to justify it to others. Right immediately from the first episode of the season, they make sure you know that Wander and Hader are now equally the main character for the rest of the series, because a new and even more threatening villain just showed up, Lord Dominator. Everything about them screams, Lord Hader, but actually cool and actually threatening. The second season is neatly separated into 3 big story arcs, and Lord help me, I know it sounds like I'm talking about a shonen anime right now, but bear with me here. The first arc being about all of the villains in the galaxy, but mainly Hader, trying to rise up the ranks to beat Lord Dominator, who's at the top, because they're just so goddamn cool and evil. This culminates in Hader facing off against Dominator, unmasking her and revealing that she's also hot. The second story arc is all about Hader trying to just get together with Dominator, as he's now hopelessly and pathetically in love with her. Throughout both of these sections of the season, Wander and Sylvia's antics still occur, but it feels more secondary. Only when Wander agrees to help Hader fully confess his love to Dominator in the musical episode My Fair Haiti, do things finally coalesce. After he gets immediately and grandiosely rejected, Wander and Hader become allies for the final arc, and just try to find anything in the galaxy that could possibly stop Dominator before she literally destroys everything. Notice something though, view buddies? How 2/3 of these are mostly about Hader? And even the final one is about him teaming up with Wander, kind of? To make this clear though, Hader has barely changed as a character. He is still a humongous, petty, obsessive man-child. Some of the better high-concept episodes continue to have him act like just the biggest jackass in the universe. In The Hole, lot of nothing, Wander is stuck keeping a black hole from destroying everything by plugging it with his finger. And the moment Hader finds out, he spends the rest of the episode torturing Wander, the exact way Wander always did to him. The showstopper has him playing this constant rock concert in dedication to Dominator, at the chagrin of literally everybody else, and it's one of the most repetitive but also hilarious episodes in the series. And the cartoon is no joke. The best episode of any cartoon I've seen this decade. Do not at me, just go watch it yourself. It's all about Hater getting the Watchdogs to make a cartoon about himself to impress Dominator. It's done completely in Filmation He-Man style, and I would be a fucking monster if I spoiled any more. Bottom line is, Hater is the same asshole he's always been. Why is he suddenly given main character treatment? I truly believe that not just Hater, but all villains like Hater have a certain attractiveness to them. They're somebody who is evil for really no good reason, but sucks so badly at their job that you start to wonder, would it even be that bad if they did win? Behind that bravado, aren't they just some stupid kid trying to be seen? There is pathos to them. There's a vulnerability and self-inflicted chip on their shoulder. Sure, they want to do terrible things and are generally unpleasant, but they've never successfully harmed anyone on screen in severe enough a way to warrant our ire. That's Dominator who did that. She wants to rule with a callous iron fist. She seems personable, but is really a sociopath. She killed Bot 13 and on screen destroys countless planets. And worst of all, she scorned Hater and belittled his affection. Something that we were introduced first as a joke, but it grew into a genuinely real love. The first time we see beyond the facade and see him act selflessly and honestly. That right there is when we want, more than ever, to pick up our little banjo, play it, and tell him,
"My fair Haiti, pick your chin up. Things are bound to get better. Yeah, the gal of your dreams turned out deadly, it seems. And it's probably best you didn't wind up together. My fair Haiti, don't you give up. It ain't a total disaster. Hey, we gave it a go, put on a heck of a show, and did a lot of fun stuff we'll get to laugh about after."
After all, an enemy is just a friend you haven't made yet, right? Maybe all these guys needed was someone to actually believe in them. Maybe they just needed someone to say, "Hate's great, best villain." With that, he can become better than he ever was, and better than he ever hoped to be, defeating the real bad guy like she was nothing. And hey, maybe even she was just posturing. Maybe she needs a friend too. Oh my god, did I just write an entire video from the perspective of Wander? Is that the real reason why the show focuses on Hater so much as it goes on? Because Wander just wants to see him become his best self and we, the viewer, see him as a simulacrum of our wants and needs? So does that mean Wander was the main character this whole time and this video was pointless? Probably not. Either way, whether it be someone like Hater, or Catra, or Boxman, or this guy, we all have some hapless villain we want to see become better. Through thick and thin and every stupid and regrettable decision they make, we'll keep hoping for the best, rooting for them in the background. Our fair Haiti.